Hey, welcome back to Common Knowledge, the show where I look at Magic the Gathering commons and tell you if they're good in the Pauper format. I blew right past episode 50 last time. That's quite an accomplishment. It's cool to do something 50 times. That's a lot. Let's get into it right now and see if we can find something good. Strength of Unity, it's 3 and a white for an enchantment aura that enchants a creature. It's also got Domain. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each basic land type among lands you control. When this came out in Invasion, Domain wasn't a thing, but it's been, not eroded exactly, but we now have a word for what this kind of effect means. So now we just give it Domain. 4 mana for this effect is not very good. You're getting a maximum of 5, right? Or 6? Does waste count, right? Does waste count? I don't know if waste counts. I don't think waste matters all that much, but let's look to be sure. Yeah, wastes are basic land. But it's not a basic land type, is it? I don't know. Okay, you could get a +5/+5. You could get a +6/+6. Maybe I could be wrong on that. Does it say domain abilities? How many lands? Yeah. Plains, island, swamp, mountain, and forest. Okay, cool. Desert. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't count wastes. Anyway, it's bad. don't play this card. It doesn't really like. It could go in Bogle's decks maybe, but Bogle's decks are not 5 colors, and you're just, it's very inefficient. This is pretty bad. I'll give it a 1 point. I'll give it a 1. This is really just really bad. Lazotep Behemoth is 4 and a black for a 5/4 zombie hippo. Zombie hippo is pretty cool, but it's just a vanilla creature. Other than that, it's halfway decent rate, I suppose. But vanilla creatures not going to get a whole lot of love here. We're going to give this a 1.2. 1.2. And keep moving on. Blazing Torch is a single mana for an artifact that's also an equipment. Equipped creature can't be blocked by vampires or zombies. An equipped creature has tap and sacrifice Blazing Torch. Blazing Torch deals 2 damage to any target. It equips for 1. Man, I don't know. This isn't awful. It's not great. There are some vampires and some zombies that get played in Pauper, for sure, in both red and black. I don't think that's enough to really make that much of a difference. This also only gives the unable to block part. There's no power and toughness boost that you get out of this. And you have to tap the creature and sacrifice the equipment to do the 2 damage to any target. I don't think that's all that good. I mean, I guess it's kind of a shock in a way, but no, I don't like this. We'll also give this a pretty bad score. I'll give it like a 1.5, maybe 1.4. It's pretty bad. Next up is Witch's Cottage. Okay, we've gotten the green one before, the gingerbread cabin. This is the black one of these from Thornhill Drain. Witch's Cottage is land that also counts as a swamp. Means it taps for black. And this land enters tapped unless you control 3 or more other swamps. And when this land enters untapped, you can put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. This is pretty good. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's somewhat free in your mono black decks. It does continue to count as a swamp. So if you have, like Consuming Corruption or something like that, there's a couple of cards that care about the number of swamps you have. So this doesn't hurt to do that. And if you have a lot of other swamps in your deck, especially if you're on like a mono black sacrifice or any kind of mono black deck where you're playing a bunch of swamps, you're probably fine to put 1 or 2 copies of this in there. And you just get a nice little thing where you can get a creature card back if you need it. That's not the most impactful thing, but when it's essentially free real estate in a way, nothing wrong with that. I think this one's pretty good. Is it better than the gingerbread cabin? I think you can use it more often than the gingerbread cabin, I think. So let's go ahead and give this I'm going to give this like a 5.6. Pretty good card. Bomber Core is 1 and a red for a 1/2 human soldier. It's got Battalion. Whenever this creature and at least 2 other creatures attack, this creature deals 1 damage to any target. That's not terrible. It's it being a 1/2 for 2 mana is maybe a little much. I like the 1 damage, but you have to attack with 3 creatures at once. That's not the hardest thing to do in Pauper. Red Rally is very popular these days, and that's able to put a lot of creatures down that all have haste that come in and do a bunch of attacks. So could that work? Probably. Do you want to pay the 2 mana for an underpowered creature that then takes a lot of hoops to jump through to get the 1 damage? Is the 1 damage really going to be all that relevant? Maybe it can ping down a fairy or something like that, but it could take down like a refurbished familiar. That's kind of cool. It's okay. I think the opportunity cost is just at a point where you don't necessarily want to play this. Let's go ahead and give it a 2.4. Disturbing Plot is 1 and a black for a sorcery. Return target creature card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. And it also has Conspire. As you cast this spell, you can tap 2 untapped creatures you control that share a color with it. When you do, copy it, and you may choose a new target for the copy. So this is a Raised Dead. Raised Dead is a single black mana that just does this effect, but you pay 2 mana, and now you can do this Conspire thing, and you get 2 Raised Deads. 2 Raised Deads for the price of 2 Raised Deads, but you also have to tap a couple of creatures, and those creatures have to both be black. No, you play Blood Fountain, right? Blood Fountain is the one you use with an effect like this, and it's cost you a little bit more, but Blood Fountain works on so many different levels that it comes out more cheaply, and then the effect costs more, but you get the card first. You'll get a blood token. The blood token matters. You get 2 artifacts on the board on turn 1. That also makes a difference, and this just doesn't stand up to that. So we'll give this a 2.6, maybe. That's too high. Let's give this like a 2.4. For the Family is a single green mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control 4 or more creatures, that creature gets +4/+4 until the end of turn instead. We've seen cards like this before. We talk about giant growth variants. I think this one is a little. I guess it's not terrible to do. The hoop you have to jump through of getting 4 creatures on the board isn't awful, especially in some kind of Gruul style decks that play Writhing Chrysalis, where you cast Writhing Chrysalis and you get 2 Eldrazi spawn tokens. Scions? Spawns. I think they're spawns. So that's 1 card that makes 3 creatures. If you have another creature, you can play this and get the +4/+4. I think most of the time I still just want the giant growth. I still want the +3/+3 all the time rather than the +4/+4 some of the time. And I will mostly stick to that. And so I'll give this a respectable 3.5. Still a fine Magic card. Depths of Desire is 2 and a blue for an instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand and create a treasure token. Huh. That's okay. 3 mana feels like a lot, but you get a treasure token back, so you kind of get paid back. I still would probably just play Unsummon or Bounce Off. I guess Bounce Off is better because it does vehicles too. But a single blue mana for this effect. No, you don't get the treasure token, but you only paid 1 instead of paying 3, so you're still getting a kind of a better deal out of it. Maybe an Affinity deck would want this just to be able to get the extra artifact on the board. I don't really think so, though. I think this is probably just okay and not all that great. I'll give it a 3.4. Vanguard Seraph is 3 and a white for a 3/3 Angel Warrior. It's got flying, and whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, you surveil 1. I really wish we would get an Ajani's Pridemate in Pauper. I think Ajani's Pridemate itself could go in Pauper. Probably not all the other variants that have a little extra gravy on them, but I think Ajani's Pridemate would totally be fine in Pauper. But they kind of keep printing effects like this that are almost a Johnny's Pride Mate, but worse rate and worse effect. And I kind of just wish they would pull the trigger on Pride Mate. This is fine, I guess, but 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer. I don't think there's enough life gain. I mean, you get lots of incidental life gain in Pauper, but is the Surveil 1 really that useful for you? I would argue that it's probably not. I'll give this a... Man, we're getting like a lot of 3-ish cards here. I'll give this like a 3.3. I think it's worse than the cards we've seen. We're kind of keep going down just little by little. But yeah, we'll see. Last card of the day is Giant Turtle. It's 1 in double green for a 2/4 turtle. This creature can't attack if it attacked during your last turn. It's pretty bad. It's old. It's old, and I love the art, but it is not particularly good. It's only been printed this one time. Yeah, Giant Turtle. I'm gonna say you're mostly a meme, and I'll give you a meme score of 2.4. No, I won't do that. This is like a 1. It's a 1. Yeah, I think it's just a 1. It's a pretty bad card. Quick bonus card. Let's get out of here. Hive Stirrings is 2 and a white for a sorcery. You create 2 1/1 colorless sliver creature tokens. That's not bad. That's not bad. I am helping my friend build a Selesnya Slivers deck right now. This card doesn't go in it. It didn't, at least not our version. I don't think it's bad, and it could kind of be devastating in some instances. But honestly, those decks seem like they want all the creatures they can get because you want to play Lead the Stampede and Winding Way. And if you play those 2 cards, you're never getting this card out of it because this is a sorcery and you just want the creatures. So, while I think you can kind of see exactly where it goes and what it does and how it would be good, the deck construction as it is right now for those Selesnya Slivers decks, I don't think really wants this. It's still not bad, but it's not for those decks, and those are the only decks that really want it. So, I'll give it like a 2.1, but I don't think you ever play this in those Slivers decks, even though you could and they would be fine, but there's just better options. That's it. We're doing a quick one today, so we'll catch you next time on episode 52, I suppose, of Common Knowledge. And until then, see you later.